Okay, here's your bite. It was good, right? Okay, these are the veggies. This tastes like miso soup and it's so good. Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I wanted to share a week's worth of savory, healthy, and delicious breakfast ideas. Now, I'm someone who loves to prioritize eating a ton of vegetables throughout the week. I love the variety, I love the colors, I just love vegetables and just how gorgeous they are. And so what I've been trying to do is ensure I'm eating vegetables for breakfast, which means oftentimes I am enjoying a savory breakfast. So if you're also someone who's looking to incorporate more vegetables in your meals throughout the day, or even specifically with breakfast, I think you are going to love the meals that I'm sharing in this video. So let's go ahead and get into the first meal that I'm putting together for this video. And to start my week off strong, I'm making a tofu scramble with some roasted veggies, some sourdough toast, and some leafy greens. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, these are the veggies I'm going to be using. So I have this beat up zucchini that I have from last week, but I need to put it to use, so I'm gonna throw it in this breakfast. And then I also have these gorgeous carrots. Like, look at that. Okay, the carrots are gonna take longer to bake, so I'm gonna put the carrots in there for about 20 minutes first, and then add the zucchini because those don't take too long to cook. Add in some salt and black pepper. All right, and I'm gonna put these in the oven. Okay, as mentioned, the carrots are gonna be in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna add the zucchini that I cut up. But for the rest of the meal, I'm making the tofu scramble. Here I have some tofu that I prepped over the weekend. Why didn't I use it, you ask? I don't know. But the great thing about it is the tofu has been marinating in similar seasonings that I would use for my tofu scramble. I don't typically shred my tofu if I am making a tofu scramble, which honestly I've not made in a very long time, but I feel like it should work. And then I also have a little bit of these mama little peppers left over. These are so good. So I'm gonna roughly chop these along with some bok choy that I have and add this to the tofu scramble as well. Okay, so I'm adding in the tofu. Then I'm gonna add some additional seasonings. Garlic and onion powder, smoked paprika, curry powder, as well as turmeric, and then black pepper. Okay, it's been 20 minutes on the carrots, so now I'm gonna add the zucchini, drizzle that with a little bit of olive oil, and season it with some salt and black pepper. Okay, back to the tofu. I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of some milk, and I'm gonna throw in those peppers as well as the bok choy leaves and cook this up. And the very last thing I'm gonna do, I have some sourdough bread from a local bakery. I have half of a loaf left over from last week. I'm just gonna slice this, pop it in the oven to toast up, and I'm also gonna have that with breakfast. Okay, our veggies are all done and they are gorgeous. I am a big fan. Now for the tofu. And then lastly, I have the toasted sourdough bread. I just added some dairy-free butter to it, and then I'm gonna sprinkle some flaky salt on top. I just love carrots so much. There's nothing like toasted and buttered sourdough bread. So today's breakfast was inspired by Catherine from the Plant-Based RD. Y'all probably have seen her content before because her recipes, and I learned so much from her, but I saw that she made this shredded cabbage and shredded tofu type of recipe, and I've heard great things about the recipe, so I figured that would be delicious on toast. So I'm just gonna take the tofu using this grater and shred it. But this is gonna be so good. I love shredded tofu so much. I know I haven't been posting as consistently on here. Like I used to post every week, but lately I've been posting every other week. And there is a reason for that. But transparently, I've really just been reevaluating my relationship with food, my decisions around food, based off of where my beliefs stand now, and changes that are in line with what I want for my future self as it relates to my health. But with that being said, I have opened up the door to allow more nutritious type of food into my diet and into my lifestyle. As mentioned, I have added a few things into my diet. I'll probably share a bit more of what those things are. I haven't gone like full-fledged, but I have taken baby steps just based off of where my health is today, what my body needs, how I want to just start to simplify things a little bit. My mindset is always the majority of your plate should be plants, and that is what I still stand by, but I have honestly just had to come to terms with being okay with change. And that also includes changing your mind on things that you either once believed or things that historically have worked for you. As you learn more, you're exposed to more, you should change. So, and with that change, I've also decided to start just leaning on professionals to help me more, and I actually started working with a registered dietitian through Nourish, who happens to be sponsoring this video. Now, I've only had one meeting with her, so it is very fresh, but what I've enjoyed from our first conversation is just the fact that she and I have a similar mindset. She is very much a nutrition and food first type of doctor, which I absolutely love. So during the session that I had with her, we were able to talk about the current life stage that I'm in, what my future goals are. We're just really taking a proactive approach to my health, you know? I'm gonna pop this in the oven really quick for about 25 minutes. Something else that I'm excited for is the fact that she's gonna be helping me create sustainable changes that'll last, that I won't get burnt out on. And that's honestly what I need, especially during a time where I'm embracing so much change. I do wanna mention that the session is not the reason for the changes. I have honestly been making these changes, but I just started working with my dietitian, and I'm really excited to see how working with her helps me on my journey, my relationship with food, and just as I learn more about nutrition. And if you've ever been interested in working with a dietitian, Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans across all 50 states. I want to say about 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket, and the sign up is super easy. You can either type in my custom link that I have here on the screen, or you can click the link that I have in the description box so that you can sign up and book your first appointment with a registered dietitian through Nourish. I do want to say thank you so much to Nourish for sponsoring this portion of the video. I'm about to pop this in the oven, and then we'll continue putting our toast together. And in case you're wondering, my content is not changing. My priority is still plants. Eat the plants. We need the plants. I love plants, but nutrition and diet is also just not a one size fits all. Also, things change, life changes, and our bodies change. And so with that, I am embracing the change, leaning into the change, and I enjoy the change. So that was very change, but that's where I am. And I'm gonna toast this in the pan with a little bit of dairy-free butter. And the last thing I'm doing is putting together a za'atar and pistachio mix. So I'm gonna start by chopping up these pistachios. Her recipe also calls for parsley and mint, so I'm just gonna roughly chop this. I'm gonna grate a garlic clove. And I'm gonna go in with some za'atar, some lemon zest, some lemon juice, maple syrup, and olive oil. I bet this is gonna be so good. And the next step of her recipe is to combine everything. So I'm gonna combine the cabbage with the tofu and the sauce. Now I'm gonna plate this up, but I am gonna add just like a drizzle of tahini. And then now I'm gonna go in with the shredded tofu, onions, and herb mix. And the last thing I'm gonna add are some microgreens. This looks so good. And I'm also gonna have it with some raspberries. It makes sense why she wanted to use a wrap, but this is really good. So if you watched my video from a couple weeks ago, if you haven't watched that, make sure you go watch that after this. Don't leave this video, keep watching this one, but go watch that one after this video. But anyway, in that video I had mentioned that I've been enjoying savory oats for breakfast and asked if you would be interested in hearing more about the savory oats, and some of you said yes. So I am very excited to be including that in this video. This one is going to be a little bit different than the one I made last time, mainly because I'm just trying different flavors and combinations. But what I wanted to make today are miso soup inspired savory oats. Doesn't that just sound so good? When I had this very unoriginal thought because it came to mind, and of course I looked it up to see if it had been done before, and it's been done before, but we also know that there's nothing new under the sun. But anyway, when that came to mind, I said, oh my gosh, that is going to be so good. So that's what I'm gonna have today, and I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and put that together. Okay, here I have some green onions. I'm just gonna cut off the white part because I'm gonna cook these up. Here I have some shiitake mushrooms. I thought these were so interesting looking. I got these from my local Asian market. Pretty cool, right? First, I'm gonna remove these stems and then slice these up. I also have some tofu. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up. Okay, then the very last thing I need to prep is pretty much just to wash and chop this bok choy. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to my pot, and I'm gonna add my mushrooms. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil in here and then cook up the onions. And now my oatmeal and some water. I'm gonna bring this to a simmer, but while I do so, I'm also gonna add some of this dried seaweed. I got this from my local Asian market. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with my bok choy, which I could save that for the end, but I think I wanna let everything simmer together. Okay, so I ended up taking the tofu and added a little bit of coconut aminos to it, some oil, garlic and onion powder, as well as some black sesame seeds. And I'm just gonna pop this in the air fryer to cook up. I don't want it to be crispy, but I do want it to have more of a firmer texture. Now, as far as the oatmeal, this is what we're working with so far. I went ahead and combined some miso with a little bit of warm water to add to the oatmeal. That way the miso can blend with the oatmeal a little bit easier. Everything is all done. Now I'm about to plate it up. Now I'm just gonna add all of my toppings. So I'm gonna go in with some of the tofu, some of those mushrooms, some green onions, and then a little bit of chili crisp. Okay, let's give this a taste test. This tastes like miso soup, and it's so good. Oh my gosh, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I'm trying to think, if I were making this all over again, is there anything I would do differently? I guess probably just cooking it in broth versus water, maybe. So I'll probably cook it in like some low sodium vegetable broth. Other than that, I don't know if I would change anything. This is so good. Okay, here's your bite. It was good, right? This is incredible. Okay, I have this little light here because everything they say about the Seattle weather is true. It is rainy and I have no sun coming in my apartment right now. So let me move this. Sorry, y'all. I feel like I should have probably gotten this together before I press record. But let's talk about breakfast, shall we? So for breakfast this morning, I want some sort of breakfast hash. I'm kind of torn. I have this Japanese sweet potato, which, oh my gosh, I love Japanese sweet potatoes. So I'm considering roasting this and using it as the base of my breakfast bowl. But I also have this really funky looking squash. I got this, can you hear that rain? This is crazy. Mind you, Seattle, Washington in general has very interesting, gloomy, rainy weather during the winter, late fall, early spring, but we're also dealing with significant flooding. I would say that it's outside of Seattle for the most part, but it is seriously impacting a lot of residents here. So if anybody who's watching this video, if you live in Washington and you're impacted, I am sending you so much love, and also on my end doing what I can to support, you know, the city, the surrounding areas, all the things. Yeah, this rain is no joke. But anyway, my camera is dying and I need to switch up my battery, but I don't want to move it, so let me go really quick. I got this in my farmer's market delivery, and then I'm gonna use maybe like some zucchini, red bell peppers, onion. Camera died. But I was saying I'm gonna use some onions, bell peppers, zucchini, kale, have some chickpeas. So I decided I'm going to do the sweet potato. So I'm just gonna poke this and then air fry it. A little bit of oil. Now I'm gonna pop this in the air fryer for about 30 minutes. Okay, while the sweet potato is in the oven, I'm gonna prep the rest of my veggies. So I have a zucchini, a carrot, red bell pepper, a red onion. In here I have some chickpeas that I just have left over from a previous meal, and then some very rinky-dink kale that we're gonna use up. So I'm gonna start by chopping all of this, and then we'll cook it on the stove. This looks like it's been through a garbage disposal. Okay, here I have my chickpeas. I'm gonna add some salt in here, some black pepper, and then the last little bit of harissa sauce I have. Put the lid on and give that a shake. Okay, so quick update for the potato. I had to add about 10 more minutes or so I think in total I'm at like 40 to 45 minutes. The chickpea and veggie mix that's on the stove is all done, but I have about maybe like 3 more minutes on the sweet potato. So I'm gonna whip together a quick sauce because it needs some sort of sauce. I'm gonna go in with some tahini, lemon juice, the little bit that I have left in here. Also gonna add some nutritional yeast, a splash of maple syrup, some black pepper, and salt. Oh, and last but not least, some water. Okay, now I'm just gonna mix this together. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, my husband is actually eating breakfast with me. He's working from home today, so I'm gonna make 2 plates. I'm just gonna split the potato in half. Wow, it's perfect. I'm actually gonna put mine in a bowl. Now I'm gonna go in with the mixture. Okay, I'm also gonna add some avocado on here. Let's see if this is gonna be good. It's actually really good. I'm gonna add some microgreens. Also gonna add some sauerkraut. All right, now I'm gonna drizzle some of the tahini dressing on there. Add more greens and then some red pepper flakes. All right, let's dig in. I wasn't sure what to expect, but this is delicious. My husband already finished his. He eats so fast. Happy Friday. We made it. And Sir thinks I'm talking to him. I'm recording, baby. I gotta cook my food. I know. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Thank you. Good morning. I feel like I need some more light. Hold on. Okay, I don't know if that is better, but hopefully it is. Anyway, we have made it to Friday. Praise Jesus, we made it. And if you know anything about me, Fridays for me, I either don't want to cook or I have a ton of, not a ton, but a good amount of veggies left over in the fridge that I need to put to use. Which brings me to today's meal. I'm planning to make, I've never made these before, so we're about to try this together. But I'm planning to make some savory buckwheat and chickpea flour waffles. We'll see how this goes. But I have a few carrots left over in here, as you can tell. You're probably like, why does she have the carrots in this water? This is how I keep my carrots lasting longer. If you remember the cabbage, I am going to also add these to the waffles. I have this much of a red onion left over, and I also have some green onions that are on their last leg. And then as mentioned, I'm also going to be using some buckwheat flour and chickpea flour. So here goes nothing, or hopefully something. Okay, so I'm just going to start by grating my carrots. Now for the cabbage, if you can see my floor right now, that cabbage went everywhere. Now I'm going to dice my red onion. Now I'm going to cut up the green onions. Okay, my veggies are all chopped up, and now I'm going to move on to making my waffle batter. So I'm going to add my buckwheat flour, my chickpea flour, some salt, black pepper, and some garlic powder. And then I'm also gonna add some dairy-free cheese. Okay, and the last thing I'm gonna add is some warm water. I forgot that the buckwheat is much thicker and denser. Okay, I think I'm okay. Maybe a splash more. Now I'm gonna add in the veggies and mix that up. Looks interesting. Looks very, very interesting. But we don't run from trying new things, so let's see how this goes. We're gonna add some oil down. I gotta admit, these waffles are smelling so good. I did find that the edges didn't crisp up as much as I wanted them to, so kind of turned the heat up a little bit more, and I've been pressing down the top of the waffle maker. But let's see, it smells so good. Okay, while the waffles are going, I have a cucumber and this tomato. Thinking about just throwing together a quick cucumber and tomato salad to have on the side. Okay, I have this roasted garlic oil. I'm gonna drizzle some of that on here. Waffles are done. Now I did plate both of these, but I think I'm gonna save, I'm gonna save this one and enjoy it tomorrow. So for now, I'll just have this one. Gonna add a little salad on the side. I'm going to add some sliced avocado, a dollop of sour cream, a mix of fresh herbs. Also gonna add some hot sauce on here. We got all of our veggies in there. All right, let's give this a taste test. Okay, I'm sold. Love a good tomato. And this waffle is also completely gluten-free because we use buckwheat flour as well as chickpea flour. So for my gluten-free friends out there, this is one that you'll want to try. But I feel like this is a great way to end the video. I really hope that you enjoyed all the meals that I shared in this video, and I hope that it inspired you to enjoy vegetables for breakfast more often. Let me know in the comments which recipe you're planning to try, and also share some savory breakfast ideas that you might have and that you've been enjoying, because I would love to give them a try. And I'm sure there are so many other people who are going to watch this video, look at the comments, and also want to try them as well. Thank you so much for being here. I sincerely appreciate it, and happy holidays. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm about to go sit and enjoy the rest of my breakfast, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, and I already said bye, but if you make the savory waffles, eat them warm. Oh my gosh, they are so good. And I'm here to remind you, you said that you're going to eat more vegetables this year, which means you want to eat more vegetables next year. So I hope you try these recipes. All right, bye.